Hi there. I'm Patty Hodge, and I'm a retired nurse practitioner in psychiatry, doctor of nursing practice. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, please go to the welcome video to see what we're all about. And I'd like to take this opportunity right up front to say thank you to all the people who have liked my videos, who have commented, and especially subscribed. And I invite you to subscribe as well. It helps grow the channel. And I'd like to be able to share this information with as many people as possible. So if you find something useful, do share a video. Let me know what you've found useful and what you think might help in future videos. And I'm very open to hearing what you have to say. So today, I would like to address the issue that one of my subscribers raised, which is needing to know more about how to do regular self-care. So I would like to put out there a little bit of a challenge for all of us, and this will be, I guess, one of a number of videos as topics come up and I think of something that might be useful to address. But I would like to say, if you want to try to make a change, let's work on it together and let's measure it and see what happens. You're talking to a nurse, and retired or not, I'm always going to think in a certain way. I was trained in the nursing process, and I am a scientist at heart. What all of that means is that I like to have an order in the way that I approach things, because when you follow a recipe and you can replicate it, right? You find this great, my daughter makes great rice balls. It was my grandmother's recipe. And so she not only wrote it down, I think, somewhere for her, but she watched her as she did it. And there's a process. And if you know the process and you have the right ingredients, you're probably going to make a pretty decent rice ball. And that's what it really is. That's what I'm trying to address here with the steps that we take to make a change that we want in our lives. And number one, change is never easy, and I acknowledge that. And like all kinds of parts of us, resist change. So in order to improve the area that you want to improve in your healthcare, or your self-care, we have to do some steps to figure out what to do, how we can measure it, and what works and what doesn't. So the nursing process starts with an assessment. And that's just a big word for like figuring out what it was already there, right? So if you want to assess, for instance, if a room is clean, well, you'll walk into the room and you might check for dust, or you might see if there's dirt on the floor, or if you need to drag out the vacuum, or if there are dishes in the sink in the kitchen. So you're making an assessment whether you realize it or not. When you get up and you look in the mirror, when you first get up in the morning, and you know your eyes are red because you've got allergies and they're bothering you at night, and you've got circles under your eyes and your hair's a mess, you know, you're assessing something about yourself there. And so you analyze that a little bit. You say, oh gee, I wonder what's going on, and then you know you start to formulate a plan, whether you even know it or not. So the plan becomes, oh, maybe I need to first wash my face, and maybe I need some eye drops to get the red out, or take my allergy tablet today, whatever it is that you do. But you're making this plan, and you might not even realize that you're doing it. You're analyzing your situation. And so, you know, you'll maybe get on with your self-care. You'll brush your hair, and you'll brush your teeth, and maybe put on some makeup if that's what you do. And you're working out, you're implementing your plan, the plan you didn't even know you had. And then you take a look in the mirror and you say, oh, okay, that's passable. I think I can go out into the world and feel comfortable like that. You've evaluated what you've done, right? The one thing you haven't done, and it's really not part of the nursing assessment, but it is part of the nursing protocol, is you document. You might get some feedback from other people when you're out, right? So somebody might say, gee, your hair looks great today. Well, somebody has affirmed that thing, okay? But it's about, you're registering that. You're registering that compliment, and you're registering maybe a not so nice thing that somebody said. And that is stuck someplace, right? In your spirit, in your head, in your mind, wherever things get stuck. You might even feel it in your body. Someone says something really nice to you, wow, you might get a tingle. Somebody says something not so nice to you, you might get a little twist in your stomach, huh? Or something. And so part of that is paying attention to what's going on in your body. Okay, so let's get back to just basic stuff here. The nursing process is assessing a situation, analyzing it a little bit, coming up with a plan, implementing the plan, and then evaluating what you've done. And if it isn't what you want it to be, then you go all over those steps again. Well, you assess what happened there, you reanalyze it, you make a tweak in the plan, you change it, you do it, and then you evaluate that. So I hope that's clear, and how we can apply that for how you're caring for yourself now. Let's do something really practical in this particular video. Let's look at how we're going to document that, because that's part of the way that a recipe is recorded, right? You write it down. I put in X amount of this ingredient and X amount of that ingredient, and I cooked it at a certain temperature for a certain period of time, and this is what happened. And then if it didn't work, that recipe, you tweak it, right? Or even, this is an aside, but I love to look at recipes. That's one of the things that I do for my relaxation, and to plan a meal for people that really don't care what I cook. I look at that recipe, and I'll look at the comments underneath it, and somebody says, great recipe, loved it, except I changed this and that and the other thing. Well, I didn't follow that recipe. They made their own changes to the recipe, and that's fine. But it's not the recipe. So really what I'm asking right now, what I hope that you will do, is consider finding some way to journal what's going on for you. And I'll make a suggestion. I will suggest that you find some kind of a notebook, and it doesn't have to be fancy. Over the years, people have purchased for me as gifts these wonderful, beautiful little journals. They have great covers on them, and they have these great papers inside them. And I am afraid to use them because I don't want to ruin them. And yeah, okay, I've got issues, but they sit there unused, and it's unfortunate. But I will scribble on any piece of paper that I can find. Sometimes I have sticky notes all over the place. Not the most practical thing, but it works for me. And so one of the other things that I have done is I've just found a composition book. We started using these in kindergarten in my day, and we learned from the very start how to use a pencil and stay in the lines and all of that. And then a lot of these used to have a cheat sheet in the back. A cheat chart. Oh, this one does too. On the multiplication tables, right? I love these. So I have a few of these. Some of them are full, some of them are empty, and I'll grab one and I'll scribble in it. I also have one here that I keep by the computer for, when a note comes up, and it's just one of these standard things that you can get. I think I got this at the local supermarket. So it's up to you. Oh, that's Trixie. She doesn't realize that I'm videoing. And that's Bear on the couch. It's a very cold day here, so they're happy inside, snuggled in warm places. Let's do this thing, okay? So the next time we meet, make sure you have a book and a piece of paper and something to write with. And we will start with analyzing or assessing what it is that you need to change or you want to make a change in your life. So some of the areas that I would like you to consider until we meet again is if we take this in chunks. So I think in terms of body, mind, emotion, and spirit. And that's how I'm going to address this. And that's how I'm going to encourage you to do some of your personal work and see if it works for you. Everything on this channel is about you discerning for yourself what works for you. It's not about me telling you what works for you. It's about me sharing what has worked for me and what might work for you. And what you choose to do is up to you, as are all the consequences that follow. That's about your choices. And so this is, for me, my nursing career has been sort of a mission. And that's a little difficult to explain to people who might not have a passion or understand the concept of mission. But for me, it feels like a way to really be in the world that helps other people and helps myself. So I'm glad you're here with me. I'm grateful you're here with me. I would like to get started on this. So this I will mark as something around self-care part 1. So look for those things and other parts to come as we work together to start managing the stress that you're experiencing or the changes that you would like to make, and is it realistic, and all of those things are part of assessing. So okay, make a couple of notes. Make notes about what the nursing process is, and if you have to rewind this video to do that, go ahead. Make some notes about the areas that we'll look at and what you need to bring to the party here, okay? Your notebook, your pencil, your awareness, your willingness to be curious about yourself, to be curious about making changes, to be curious about what works for you, and have a wonderful, delightful, glorious day. Thanks for being here. Have a good one. Bye.